Hi everyone, my name is Jon. I'm the co-founder of Sananco. Sananco is a co-living and co-working space located in Javea in the Mediterranean coast in Spain. Well, Sananco, it's a co-living space for digital nomads. We were born in 2015, so nearly 7 years ago. Time flies. And me and Eduardo, he used to run a hostel. I used to work in the co-working industry. So we thought that this could be a good idea. The digital nomadism and remote working culture was just starting. There were already a few hotspots around the world, like in Tamai, Canary Islands, of course, nothing in Javea, which is where we are located. But we decided, like, why not? This is a beautiful location. We thought that people were going to love it here. And after seven years, here we are still running the space. We hosted more than 800 digital nomads. And what we thought 7 years ago, it was going to be just a space for people to come and chill at the beach and be productive while working from Javea. It became like a really transformative space where, through human connections and human relationship, I think people that come to Sananco grow on a personal and a professional level. So what we thought this was going to be at the beginning, and what it had become, it has been a huge difference, but something we can feel proud of. So this is a good question. Again, like when we started Sananco, I think co-living was the evolution of co-working. We had people, and we still have people, sharing a workspace, freelancers, entrepreneurs, even teams who share the office space, and we are calling this co-working. Of course, there is also a community aspect here, which we think is really important. So when we started Sananco, there were already a few places that they were calling themselves co-living, and it was people working under the same roof, but also living under the same roof. So it wasn't only people sharing a workspace, but it also was a house where they were sharing like a living space. For me, co-living is a place where people stay on average for more than 3 weeks, where they intentionally share a house with people with the same interests at the same stage in life, I would say, and that they also work next to each other in their own projects. At the end, Sananco, spaces like Sananco, I think they become like kind of a summer camp for grown-ups, where all of the emotions and relationship and experiences are really intense, because you spend like 24/7 with the same people every day for 3 weeks or 1 month. But it's also true that if you ask somebody else what co-living is for themselves, they will tell you something different, because there is also a trend in big cities who has nothing to do with remote workers or digital nomads, that are opening in big buildings in big cities, and for people who want to move there and stay for a longer time. But our type of co-living, also known recently as nomad co-living, is mostly focused on digital nomads and remote workers who stay more or less for a month in one location. So we have like really different type of profiles here in the house, and different type of professions, like from coaches to digital marketing, entrepreneurs, social media experts. We have designers, programmers. We have mostly a little bit more women than men. Sometimes when you think about the digital nomadism, and maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is programmers, and you think about men when you because most of the programmers are male. But at Sananco, for different reasons, we attract also more women here. And then I think, just generalizing, of course, not everybody is in the same situation, but I think people come to Sananco because they are looking for something. I think they are leaving behind a life where people are just doing what is expected to do from them, maybe getting married, having kids, living with their couples. And I think that when you reach a certain age and you see that your friends and people around you are following this life and this path, and you feel that you don't belong there anymore, because you feel like you want to do other things, but you don't see around yourself people that are kind of following their passion or trying something different. It can feel very lonely, and you can feel like the weird person in the group. And I think when you come to a place like Sananco, suddenly you realize that you are not alone, that there are more people like you who might not be huge fans or following the status quo, and they would rather try and live their life, the life they wanted, or the life they want to build for themselves. And it's a huge relief, I think, for many people who come to a place like this, because they, as I said, they feel that they are not alone, and they share many of their challenges, and it's always nice to belong and to feel that you fit. And I think that gives you a lot of hope also for what's gonna come in the future, to decide on which path or you wanna move on or continue your life. Last year, it was a difficult year. Last year, it was still, the pandemic was kind of hard. We struggled getting the bookings, and it was 2021, January, February, March, even April, which usually is high season for us, and we had very few bookings. And suddenly, on the 1st of May, something happened in the world. I think borders opened or flight connections started working better, but suddenly the house was full like this, from one day to the other. At the same time, we were applying for the first edition of the Co-Living Awards as the best community and user experience co-living space. It was kind of magical because, as I said, we were struggling a lot. Suddenly, house was full. We applied for this award, and on the mid-May, when the house was full of people, we were all watching the ceremony online, and they gave us the prize for the best user experience and community by the Co-Living Award. Yeah, we won that prize globally, and I think it's because we have been working really hard for the last 7 years, putting the people in center of the experience. And I think when we opened Sananco on day one, we really wanted this place to become a home for people, not just a house, and a place where they will come back, not just visit us for one day. And at the moment, we had like 25% of the people who have been to Sananco has returned here already. When we were struggling a lot during the pandemic, we launched a donation-based campaign asking for help to our members, and we raised 17,000 euros. So when you see those type of things happening, that means that what you do is not just providing accommodation to your guests. What is happening between these walls, it's something a lot more meaningful. We, as I said at the beginning, by creating this experience where people care for each other, and conditional giving happens because we facilitate a space where people give not expecting anything in return. I think by doing that, we end up creating an experience where people really connect in a meaningful way. And I think it's hard to find places these days where you can actually feel safe to talk about anything you want with people around you, to talk about love, to talk about death, to talk about family, to talk about fears. And I think those are the topics that really matter to many people and that really make you connect. The chit chat in a bar is a nice thing to do and to have, but I think what really makes you grow and improve your life and follow your dreams are conversations that happen in places where people feel they belong to, and places that they feel safe. So I think we have been able to provide a space like that for our clients, and I think that was the key for us to win the Co-Living Award last year. And this year we are again the finalist for the second edition, and in this time we applied for the Nomad Co-Living segment. So we are in the top 4 at the moment, and we are also right now there is a public voting happening on LinkedIn. So if you go to Co-Living Awards and you find our name somewhere there, please give us a vote. And then I think by the end of the month in June, I think they will announce the winners. I'm originally from Bilbao, from the north of Spain, and Javea is located between Alicante and Valencia, so southeast of Spain. The weather is really warm. I was very surprised because coming from the north of Spain, where it usually is raining every day, it was quite surprising for me to come there for the first time here and feel that there was no proper winter, or at least a winter in the terms I understood. what winter was. We have a population here of 30,000 people, but there are also many expats. It's easy to move around if you don't speak Spanish. At the same time, even though there are a few expats here, which make you communicate easier with people, because most of the people here speak English, it feels like really a Spanish town. It doesn't feel like a really touristy town. I was very surprised about that, but the old town, it feels like really Spanish, and they take care a lot about the tourism, so it's not like a massive, huge touristy place full of people. So it's quite well protected. We have the sea on the Mediterranean coast. I love surfing. So for those people who think that there are no waves on the Mediterranean coast, they should come here in the winter, because we find really good waves here. And then everything is more or less walking distance and with really good connections. As I said, like Valencia and Alicante are just 1 hour away driving. So, and both have international airports, so it's really well connected in this sense. And we always try to encourage people that come to San Anco to enjoy a life, enjoy a slow life. Here, we always try to make people work, but also have time to enjoy, because life is at the end about spending the time the way you want to spend. And we value a lot here that 10 hours a day working hard, which you also have time to work when you come here, and we provide like 2 really productive spaces to work from. But it's also about taking the time to slow down, to go to the beach, to visit the market, and to spend time with the people in the house. So at the moment we can fit 18 people here. Last week, actually, we finished our first ever pop-up edition. It happened in the Basque Country. It happened next to my hometown. And we stayed there for a month with another group. So for the first time in our life, we had like 2 San Anco experiences running at the same time. One for 1 month in the north of Spain, and the permanent one here in Javea. We are planning to do that next year again in the same location, and then we'll probably find a new location to offer our members who keep coming back the opportunity to experience San Anco, but in other locations. And then we recently opened a co-working space here in the town, and our idea is also to start offering community passes for people who want to maybe rent an apartment to have more privacy, but also become part of the community by using the co-working space and also attending the event. So I think our aim here is also to provide another type of space which is maybe less social, because if you come to San Anco, the social aspect is really active, but maybe you are in a stage in life where you want to slow down, maybe you would like more privacy, get an apartment, but it'll still have the community life. So we are trying that now, and probably we will put more effort on that from June onwards. But I would love to see San Anco expanding and going beyond our house walls, because I think that many people can benefit from having more interactions with other people. And also, I'm quite excited also to see, this is just a dream I have or a hope, but I would love to see some guests staying in the San Anco house, but then also having in the apartments, and as part of the community, maybe somebody who is coming with their family, or somebody who is coming with their dog, or somebody who is coming with 2 friends and they want to, like stay for 3 months or 4 months here in Javea because they like Javea, and they want to check and test if this is a place they would like to move for a longer time of period. So we'll see. Many ideas in mind. Tip number 1 is go on the website and book. That's the best tip I can give you, because it's really difficult to not just judge, but it's really difficult to understand what it feels to stay in a place like San Anco if you haven't done it before. Like sometimes you can check the pricing, you can check our website, but until you don't arrive here and really experience this, you will never know. So if somebody is watching this video and is doubting, I would encourage them to book. Our minimum stay is 1 week. I wouldn't encourage them to book only for 1 week, because if they book for 1 week, they will feel that it's too short and they will regret that they haven't booked for longer, as most of the people do. So I will at least recommend them to come for 2 weeks if they can. if they can, and if they work allow them, and then come here, be open-minded and with no expectations, because I do believe that so intense and meaningful experiences that happen in places like Sananco really impactful and not easy to find around the world. So